So I want all of you to stand up. This has been the one technique in movement that you can do anywhere that I have found works better than anything. So I want you to put your feet together. I want you to put your hands down, bend your knees a little bit, and start shaking. Start moving up and down. Just like that. Come on, fill it out. Now, you can do a little bit of the American Indians and say, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. But just feel it. You see, you can do this 5 or 10 minutes a day. Whenever you feel like your energy is a little bit low, this is a great feeling. Now, you can do it the rest of the talk if you want to, but find your purpose. And your purpose has to be something bigger than yourself. It cannot be about survival. It cannot be about paying your bills. It cannot be about paying the salaries in your office. It cannot be about buying the car you want, about buying the house you want. It has to be about something greater than yourself. The health of humanity could use you right now as a purpose. Just if you apply yourself. Make that your purpose every day. Ignite your creative part. Get creative. Don't think within the box. Think out of the box. Whenever you're confronted with a challenge, think out of the box. Because everybody else is just reacting like you. And if you're not thinking out of the box, unfortunately, you'll have the same results that you've always gotten. Forgive as many people as you can. Forgive yourself, more importantly. You know, all of us beat ourselves up for the mistakes that we made. Who hasn't made a mistake? I've made big ones. I tell my staff, you know, sometimes I see that they want to do so well. And I always say, listen, mistakes are the greatest teachers if you choose to look at it as a lesson. So look at your mistakes as lessons as long as you learn something constructive about it. Another characteristic that we have for most servant leaders is problem solving, healing. You see, most of us spend 80% of our time dwelling on a problem. 80% of our time. Most executives spend 33% of our time in crisis management. And as I observe people, the people that truly are servant leaders are the ones that spend the majority of their time thinking about the solutions of the problem. You know that Albert Einstein had a statement that is one of my favorite quotes, and I say it often because I have to remind myself of that every single day. And that is that you cannot solve the problems of today with the same level of thinking that created them. You can't solve the problems of today with the same level of thinking that created them. So we must change our thinking. We must think out of the box. We must start thinking, what can I do right now to be able to solve this problem? You know, one of the best exercises that I do when I have a problem is that I write the problem down, and then I spend a concerted effort in writing every possible thing that I can do right now to solve that problem. And then it's like a checklist. But at least it gives you a guidance of what you can do right now to solve your problems. So my question to you is, what are your problems? And are you making your problems bigger than what they need to be? Our actions are very critical because it allows us to really be what it is that we're wanting to be. You know, there's a formula for success that I don't know if you've heard it before, but in today's time, it's really the most profound formula for success ever invented. And that is be, do, and have. The challenge is that most of us have been trained or conditioned to think that we must have first before we can do, before we can be. And the challenge with that is totally opposite to what the formula is. That means that just because you don't have today doesn't mean you can act like you have it. Act as if, which was a principle that we've been taught for many years. Act as if. So if you want to be healthier, act as if you're healthier. At least think a little bit more about being healthier. If you want to be wealthy, act and behave like you're wealthy. And a simple step towards wealth, you know what it is? Just managing your money and having a relationship with your money like you will have with somebody you care about. Not about having money and throwing that money away and mistreating it, because money is a relationship. And the more the relationship and the deeper the relationship, you want to harness it. You want to protect it. You want to put it to good use. And you know, Mr. Jones was a widower, 75 years old. And he came into my office, you know, very depressed, hadn't showered, full of beer, white beer. And I examined him and I adjusted him and I sent him away. Well, 2 weeks later, I'm having dinner with my wife in a restaurant. And Mr. Jones comes in all dressed up in a beautiful suit with an incredibly gorgeous 22, 23-year-old woman next to him. So he sees me in the corner of his eyes and he goes to my table and says, Dr. Mancini, so great to see you. I just want to thank you. I said, Mr. Jones, what happened to you? Just 2 weeks ago, you were depressed. You were just feeling miserable. Oh, but Dr. Mancini, don't you remember what you said to me? It's changed my life. And I said, Mr. Jones, what did I say? I said, Dr. Mancini, you said, get a hot mama and be cheerful. I said, Mr. Jones, that's not what I said. I said, you have a heart murmur, so be careful. Whatever you listen to, that's what's important. It worked for him, it can work for you. And the third emotion that keeps you from fulfilling your successful potential is anxiety. And anxiety is more related to the present. Right now you're graduating, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have any tests on Monday morning. What am I going to do Monday morning? Anxiety of whatever emotions you're going through right now. And the one emotion that allows you to diffuse that anxiety is actually love. There is nothing more powerful than love. And the kind of love that I'm talking about is not the kind of love that is conditional. It's an unconditional love, the same love that you have for a brand new baby. A brand new baby that you have no expectations except the desire to want to serve, to be able to be there, to huddle, to love, to kiss on. Whatever the case may be. Even if you're changing a diaper, it's amazing. When you change a diaper of somebody that you love, like your son or your daughter, it smells very different than if you change the diaper of your neighbor's kid. I'm telling you. You know, if your wife says, you know, honey, would you change the diaper? Sure, honey, I would love to. Ah, it smells so good, you know. But try to change the diaper of somebody else's kid. It's a very different experience. I want you to learn to love yourself unconditionally. I want you to look in the mirror and say, I love you. I really, really love you. Every day, a few times a day, I love you. Because you see, if you can't love yourself authentically, if you can't love yourself unconditionally, there will be no way you can love anyone else that way.